Several years after that, I became a certified engineering technologist through OSET. And then after that, I went back to school, got my bachelor's of science, and now I am completing a master of technology management. And she's right, I've worked in the field for about 15 years. Before we really even used the term cybersecurity, it was all IT security. But now we've moved on to cybersecurity. So the first topic of discussion today is going to be on the cyber threat landscape that we're facing, and the one that we're currently seeing a shortage of skills in. Then I'm going to speak about how we can develop the skills of our future graduates will need to succeed in the workplace. And after that, I'll give you a brief overview of the Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity, my team, academic outreach, and what it's like to work as a cybersecurity professional. So, my last semester at Algonquin in 1998, I received my first email account. I didn't use it though. I thought the whole living on the internet thing was for geeks. Oh my goodness, how naive I was. The future of cybersecurity and digital privacy was already well underway, and I had absolutely no idea. But it wasn't long before I was looking for a house online, sending emails to my friends, downloading music, applying for jobs, everything online. And now it seems that every day that goes by, the world is becoming increasingly digital, automated, and connected. We live online. And now in COVID, we live online even more. We do our banking, we share our photos, we work from home, we control our thermostats, we can even lock our car doors from our bed. But with this new way of life, and it is still new, 20 years of development and doing things a certain way is definitely new. So if you think about it, we've lived on paper for hundreds of years. But with this new way of life, we need new ways to protect ourselves, because protecting our online identities can protect our reputation and the reputations of our workplace. We're just really, as a society, starting to understand the dangers that lurk. Fake news, for instance, who heard about that 10 years ago? And now, with its dangers to the elections process, it's a real topic of concern. But the scary part about living and sharing our lives online is that the youth growing up today, and I see it in my daughter and her friends, they want everyone to know everything about them, where they go, who they see, what they eat, where they are now, and they don't realize that they still need to protect certain parts of their identity, as well as those devices on which they're having all this fun from malicious actors. And the same goes for businesses, governments, and academia, the places our graduates work. Businesses have Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook accounts. They make announcements online about their latest projects. They post bios of their executives. They put so much information out there to stand out and be recognized without realizing that that same information can be used against them. All of us need to adapt ourselves to that changing reality and be prepared to continue to adapt into the foreseeable future. So what exactly is cybersecurity? It is the methods we use to protect our data and the systems and networks on which that data lives. We need to protect our data, not only because it belongs to us, but also because our data gives us an advantage over our competitors. It helps us get jobs, secure sales, have the upper hand in negotiations, plan for the future of our businesses. Cybersecurity really is the backbone on which we as individuals, businesses, and nations build our success. Cybersecurity is the constant pursuit to secure our information systems, the data on them, and the services that they provide. It's about protecting the systems that all Canadians rely on, like healthcare, banking, telecom, energy, transportation, academia, and it's about protecting individuals and businesses, big and small. Cybersecurity really is about securing our future. And Canadians and Canadian organizations are connecting more of what they value most to the internet. Malicious cyber threat actors take advantage of low cybersecurity awareness and new technological developments as they try to gain access to our digital information. And those threat actors are looking for information on Canadian individuals, businesses, and critical infrastructure. Information such as financial and banking data, intellectual property, or simply personal information so they can send you malicious email messages. And some systems that cyber threat actors target are used to maintain essential services that we all rely on. Like I had just said, with transportation, water systems, our health services, and our communication systems. Now, in the workplace, every employee, no matter their role, must be cyber aware and use good cyber hygiene. And because we are under threat. But why? Why are we under threat? What are we protecting? We're nice people. We say sorry a lot. We have great whiskey and beer, bonfires. We have great cottages. What's going on, right? But we are under threat because we have resources and lots of them. We have agriculture, water, oil, wood, the Arctic. We have money, we're a rich country, and we have a high standard of living. We also have a stable banking system, and all of us, most of us, are online. We have in Canada over 32 million internet users. That's a lot. And a good portion of them do their banking and buy items online. And now, with the realities of COVID, we're working and hanging out with our friends online, and we buy even more things online. We have a lot of great businesses in Canada, and a lot of international businesses have their offices here. And we are among some of the most educated countries in the world. And more importantly, we have smart, rich friends, and threat actors can target us in order to get access to our friends' information. So if you extend that to our international friends, because we are international players, then cyber threat actors can target Canadian organizations to get access to other countries' data as well. But in all this, there is a lot of good news, and that good news is that we have the cyber knowledge to keep our information secure, and you have it here in your institution as well. But even with that knowledge, we have a large deficit of workers that have that knowledge that are required to protect our information and systems. In fact, 82% of employers have reported a shortage of cybersecurity professionals and believe that this shortage has caused measurable damage. Now, right now, these numbers aren't exact, but there's around 5,000 positions right now that need to be filled by cybersecurity professionals in Canada. And there are many different stats on what the global shortage is. Is it 1.8 million, 2.2 million, 3 million? It doesn't matter what that number is. It is high. What matters is that the demand for cybersecurity professionals is acute, it is immediate, and it's growing. And we need to remove those adjectives, and that's when we know, or at least I'll know, my goals have been reached and my job in academic outreach is complete. Now, organizations of all kinds face a formidable task when it comes to protecting their networks and the important information that those networks store, process, and transmit. But surprisingly, the responsibility of protecting those networks does not rest solely on the shoulders of the highly technical staff who design, operate, and maintain them. Every employee has a role to play. Employees need to behave in a safe and cybersecure manner. To do so, they must be trained. Therefore, learning and teaching professionals are required to develop and deliver courses. But it goes much further than that. What does safe and secure? What does that really mean? Perhaps a policy analyst or a communications expert can help define the needs of an organization. And organizations must also ensure that they are compliant with the growing list of laws and standards. And so this points to a need for lawyers and policymakers who understand the implication of cybersecurity on day-to-day operations. Now, to hire the people with the appropriate skills, human resource professionals must know what certifications and experience to look for. And similarly, effectively enforcing cybersecurity policies requires coordination between groups within an organization. And this requires the ability to work with diverse groups to define technical measures that have the right balance between security and usability. And so we need professionals that understand risk and can take the risk appetites of an organization into consideration. To remain cyber secure, businesses need staff that have knowledge beyond that of just computers and computer networks. There's a need for cybersecurity professionals who specialize in business, law, criminal justice, risk management, statistics, human resources, social and political sciences, as well as many other disciplines. Cybersecurity really is a team sport. It is an interdisciplinary field, and the reality of today is that we have a shortage in all aspects of the cybersecurity profession. So I'm going to ask you a question, right? If you're study business or marketing or economics, you may know who I'm talking about. So what am I describing? It can be known, it cannot be known, sorry. It will be different from what exists now, and its only certainties are death and taxes. So if you said the future, I probably gave it away with my last one, then you are absolutely correct. And we cannot predict the future. We have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But so what can we do? So now, if you think about Peter Drucker, if you know who Peter Drucker is, if you think about his concept of the future that has already happened, he says that while we cannot predict the future, we can try to anticipate the future effects of events that have already happened, right? So now, do you remember when I bored you with the details of getting my first email account in 1998? And I said the future of privacy and cybersecurity was well underway and I had no idea? Because at that time, we were already storing personal information on computers, right? We could do our tax returns online then, and businesses were relying on computer networks to accomplish these business goals. Those changes in technology and how we used it were paving the way to phishing emails, ransomware, viruses. They were paving the way toward a need for cybersecurity professionals. And I wish I could say I was smart enough back then to get into the cybersecurity field, but that would have been a lie. In 1998, I, as a graduate, had no idea how the work environment would change over the next couple decades. So what does that mean in terms of cybersecurity and success of our graduates in the new economy? Well, no one answer to that can be given, not for certain anyways, but what we can do is look to our economists, our technologists, our scientists, mathematicians, engineers, business professionals, and social scientists. We need to look to academia, to industry and government to work together to discuss recent breakthroughs or happenings in the technology field and try to predict the impact they will have on the skills the labor force, our future graduates, will need to be successful in that new economy. So we can gather and analyze data. We can study past trends, look for disruptions, and try and make predictions, because that is all we really can do, is anticipate the future effects of events that have already irrevocably happened. So what is this new economy I'm talking about, and what will it look like? What will the future look like? Well, I don't know the answer to that either, because I'd need a crystal ball. But what I can do is direct you to some reports. For instance, there's a 2018 report by RBC. It's called Humans Wanted: How Canadians Can Thrive in the Age of Disruption, and it lists 10 key findings, two of which I'd like to discuss. So the first one is, the first prediction that they say is that 25% of current jobs, so all jobs, not just the highly technical jobs, but of current jobs, will be heavily disrupted over the next decade. And fully half will go through a significant overhaul. So if we have learned anything, it's that most, if not all, of us will feel the effects of this future that has already happened. Now, the eighth key finding is that digital fluency will be an essential skill for workers. Again, our graduates in the future. And what does digital fluency mean? And what is this future that I am talking about? So I would like to take a step back for a second and talk to you about the first industrial revolution, and it used water and steam to power and mechanize production. The second revolution used electric power to create mass production. And the third used electronics and IT to automate production. So there's a pattern there of each industrial revolution building upon the next. And now we're in the fourth industrial revolution, and the fourth is building upon the third, and it is the digital revolution that has been occurring since the middle of the last century. It's a combination. So the digital revolution, my apologies, are the combination of technologies that are blurring the lines between the physical, the digital, and the biological scopes. So for instance, have you ever seen the social media posts that they'll tell you what the color of your eyes mean, right? Do you think that maybe that could be a malicious threat actor gathering biometric data to be used when the technology is more commercially available? It could very well be. There's a lot of little posts on social media asking for you give them information and they tell you, what does that mean about you, right? And that could be people collecting data for the future. But we don't know just yet how this future is going to unfold. But one thing is really clear. If we want to prepare our graduates for it, the response to it must be integrated and comprehensive. And it's got to involve all stakeholders, from private and public sectors to academia to civil society, because we are entering a cyber-physical world where the number of corporations is declining and person-to-person commerce is increasing. We're part of this gig economy, a labor market of short-term contracts or freelance work as opposed to permanent jobs. And current technologies are enabling this transformation. Old systems are crumbling and new ones are just beginning to form. And so this digital revolution is really redefining pathways to well-paying jobs and challenging the way we need to prepare our students for their future. And more importantly, it is disrupting almost every industry in the country. And the breadth and depth of those changes are transforming entire systems of production, management systems, governance, of ways of learning, ways of working, and ways that we socialize. New laws are being written every day and new crimes are being committed. So maybe we should call on our philosophers or our psychologists and social scientists and ask them to think about our issues. What impact will new technology have on the individual, on society, or on businesses? How will a change in this structure of society impact us all? And even if we can implement our technologies, should we? What problems may we face in the future if we make the decisions today? So And I'd like to talk a little bit more on the digital revolution, because it's really going to impact our graduates in the future. And so on this slide, there's a lot of words, probably more than's recommended for a PowerPoint, but I did that on purpose because I think it's the most important slide of my talk. It's a quote from a 2016 World Economic Forum article entitled "The Fourth Revolution, What It Means and How to Respond." So, excuse me, I would like to read it together. There we go. The possibilities of billions of people connected by mobile devices with unprecedented processing power, storage capacity, and access to knowledge are unlimited. So right now, our billions and billions of people are connected to their devices, and we have the entire Encyclopedia Britannica at our fingertips. When we go online, we can Google anything, we can save anything on our devices and on our laptops. And with that knowledge, with that power that cloud computing gives us, that processing power, really are the possibilities are unlimited. And these possibilities, they will be multiplied by emerging technology breakthroughs in fields such as artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, quantum computing, energy storage. I mean, the list, it really can go on. So I think we can agree to the fact that modern computing power has provided like a zillion, and I'm not even exaggerating, new opportunities or possibilities. So I want to go back, and something I want to point out is that this article was written in 2016, and we are already seeing these products in the marketplace, right? Home monitoring solutions are here. 3D printing has come a long way. Autonomous vehicles, they're pretty much here. They're well on their way. So I want to go back to 1998. So let's bring you back to when I was like young and naive in 1998. It was my final semester at Algonquin College. Final project, presentation day. My team built an amplifier and an equalizer for a stereo system. But another student presented an innovative idea, the wearable computer. We thought he was nuts. We thought he was crazy. I'm like, sure, we can all take our computer wherever we want to go. Why would we want to do that, right? I mean, why do we want to take our computer to a restaurant or out to a bar? We don't want to do that. But hindsight is 2020. Like looking back, it's not a crazy idea. It's exactly what we have. We have our computers in our pockets, right? So now think about this a little bit more into the fact that I said autonomous vehicles are pretty much here, right? They need to be developed a lot more, but the technology is here. Do you think that transport truck drivers will be required once autonomous vehicles are commercially available on a large scale? Will delivery trucks, the smaller FedEx kind of delivery trucks, will those even be necessary if we have drones? Right? So, and we know as a professors, you use I call it an automagical program to see if your students are committing plagiarism, right? That's AI. We're using it today. Quantum computers, quantum computing, they're coming, and our current encryption methods need revising. So we need to think about how these new technological breakthroughs, once they're in production, how will they impact the skills required by our graduates? And then we need to go back and adjust the learning outcomes accordingly. And we also need to ensure that the technical people that design these great products design in security from the beginning. Because, I mean, we don't want someone taking over the Amazon drone and redirecting our package to their house, right? So we really have to think about the technologies that are almost there, almost ready to be developed and put into production, like autonomous vehicles, quantum computing, and AI, and what impact is that going to have on the learning outcomes our students are going to need for when they graduate their programs. So, all that to say is that the world's changing very fast, and we need to keep up. And COVID has shown the world that so many jobs can be done successfully from home. This wasn't even a priority for many of the businesses a few years ago, but now they're seeing the benefits, right? So my question to them, though, is have they updated their security policies to reflect the new operational reality? And because we are creatures of habit, it's not normal to us to take that unknown into account, but we must try and think and try and predict the future state of what our students will need to be successful in their careers. So we'll need to draw inferences and make unexpected connections to identify those disruptions in trends. We need to also perceive data as our greatest asset and not only find technical ways to protect it, but develop that understanding in all of our graduates. Doesn't matter what program they're in. Digital innovation is here to stay, and it's going to change the business models of many, many organizations, if not all, right? And so we need to adapt. But I always like to be positive. There's no problems. There's only solutions. We can ensure the success of our students. We've got that in our power. So through education and a concerted effort to build the cybersecurity skills that our digital workforce requires, we can do that. But our workforce requires that all students in all programs have a level, the right level for them, of cybersecurity knowledge and skills. So I'd like to give you an example of a psychologist or a psychology program. My daughter's going off to university next year, and she wants to take psychology. And she doesn't care about cybersecurity. Oh, I think that's a problem, because if she graduates and does her master's, goes on and becomes a therapist, imagine for a minute you're sitting with her as your therapist and you're having a deeply personal conversation, right? Because you're with the therapist. And afterwards, you leave your appointment, she's sitting on her laptop and she's typing away her notes, great, 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 and a phishing email comes in. She clicks on the link or she opens the attachment because she doesn't know that she needs to avoid phishing emails, or she doesn't know about social engineering, and bam, now a hacker has access to all her files and all her client information. Now, for me, I think, who cares? If the malicious actor wants to know how crazy I am, then sure. But imagine you were a CEO or a person of high importance, like a high level government official. Now that becomes an information that can be used for malicious purposes, right? So every program needs to have that right level of knowledge built into the program. And it doesn't mean that they have to have a whole other cybersecurity course. There could be other places and other courses where we could augment the right content. We could augment the course and add in the content, right? We need to maybe look at our curriculums and our programs for all of our students and update them to reflect that evolving nature of technology, and add in the cybersecurity information that those graduates will need. Right? We can do it. So I've added in this slide because I thought maybe there may be some students here. But what really do cyber professionals do? Well, they're really in the market of protecting and defending, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If it is online, it needs to be protected. And did you know that despite its small market size, Canada was the third most targeted country for cyber attacks in 2019 or 2018. It's because we're online all the time, so our threat surface is quite broad. So the growing threat of cyber attacks has made governments and industries more aware of the need to protect and defend information and systems that Canadians rely on. As a result, cybersecurity is growing as a recognizable discipline that encompasses many specialties. Although only a subset of businesses participate directly by producing or selling cybersecurity products or solutions, or by building or operating networks, such as cloud computing, every business uses technology to deliver its products or services. So cybersecurity, as a result, has become more important to protect computer systems of all businesses in all industries, big or small. So if you're a cybersecurity professional, no matter what your role is, you are working to defend our nation, to defend our critical infrastructures, to protect our money, to protect our identities, and to stop ransomware attacks in Canada. You'll have a hand in that. And like I said, cybersecurity professionals, there's a shortage, right? They're in demand, and the number of jobs is growing about 7% per year, because all businesses have proprietary information that they want to protect. They also have personal information of their employees, clients, their suppliers, and their business partners to protect. Every single online retailer, bank, school, law firm, medical facility, utility, government, information, every single one of them have systems and information that needs protection, right? So the number of jobs is growing by about 7%, and the average salary in Canada is about $97,000, which is a decent average salary. So I know that some students, they're like, but I don't have any cybersecurity experience. What can you do? Well, you can network. So get a LinkedIn account and start connecting with the people in the industry, right? Businesses post job fairs, recruiters use it as a tool to find candidates. Join some cybersecurity networking groups on IT. You can also focus on understanding the fundamentals of IT, such as administering and configuring systems or networks, databases, right? Any bit of coding will go a long way towards getting your first job. But don't let that scare you, because I don't know how to code. I do not do computer programming. I think it might make my brain explode. It's not the way I think. But I've been in cybersecurity for 15 years and had many different roles, so you don't need to know how to code. But what you can do is focus your interest. So focus in on an area and understand it well. Think ahead about 5 to 10 years for your dream job, and then look for an entry-level position that will give you the skills you need for that job, right? And then gain practical experience, as much as hands-on experience as you can. There's also a career finder tool that highlights the jobs across Canada as well, and that's a free tool. So now I'll talk about the Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity. Excuse me. So now that I've made you think about the future of our skills our graduates will need, and maybe make you a little nervous, but I hope I didn't, but because we're here to help you. So the Cyber Center is the primary federal government point of contact for cybersecurity operational matters for the Government of Canada and external partners, including for incident response and coordination. What we do is we monitor the cybersecurity ecosystem, and we use that understanding and that knowledge to identify, address, and share information about systemic threats, risks, and vulnerabilities. The Cyber Center actively collaborates with researchers, industry, and academia on cybersecurity problems. And we are Canada's authority on cybersecurity and a source of expert advice and guidance, services, and support. So just think about this. If you go to Environment Canada for weather reports and Health Canada And so a tremendous amount of what we do is defend the networks and information of the federal government. But keep in mind that every Canadian citizen, every Canadian company, every provincial to territorial government, and many, many municipal ones, as well as every foreign government and company that does business in Canada, connects directly with the government of Canada. So we spend an awful lot of our time defending the networks of the federal government. But we also inform Canada and Canadians about cybersecurity matters, including cybersecurity threats through our Get Cyber Safe campaign and website. We offer technical advice and guidance through our public website and, where appropriate, through direct consultation. And then a third item that we do is we protect Canadian interests through providing advice, assistance, and collaboration with partners across the country by sending out public cyber event notices and reports. And we also offer a threat notification and information sharing services, which I am sure your IT people are working with our partnerships group to make sure that the Queen's network is safe and secure. But in develop, right here, this is where my team plays, and it is about developing and enriching the knowledge and the personnel and the skills needed to continually improve cybersecurity for Canadians. So we engage with the research and development community, and we hold collaborative events like Geek Week and Hacker Gal. We also contribute to standards development as well as curriculum development with colleges and universities. And we offer cybersecurity courses to all levels of government, critical infrastructure businesses, as well as academia. So that means that you guys can come and take our courses. So my team is called the Academic Outreach and Engagement Team, and our vision and what we're working towards is ensuring Canada is a distinguished and enduring multidisciplinary source of intellectual capacity and skilled talent in cybersecurity. It's a large goal, I know, but it can be achieved if we demonstrate leadership in cybersecurity education, if we provide advice and guidance to promote curriculum development, and develop trusted partnerships with academia and industry. Because Canada, like I said, is facing a shortage of qualified cybersecurity professionals and practitioners. So we need our academic institutions to help us develop the talent that to help us develop talent with the cybersecurity skills Canada needs, not only to reduce the shortage of cybersecurity professionals, but more importantly, to build a more resilient cyber ecosystem across Canada. And the talent can be developed by promoting cybersecurity skills through new programs, new concentrations within existing programs, and augmented course content, right? So also think about where in a nursing program would cybersecurity principles be required. Well, maybe when they're starting to learn about healthcare systems and accessing public health databases, and the privacy requirements that they have to adhere to. That would be a great place in the nursing program to add cybersecurity module and have some content there, right? It's because we need to ensure that all programs have the right level of knowledge, right? We don't want to overwhelm people with knowledge they don't need, but we do want to make sure that when they get out in the workforce, that they can have good cyber hygiene and they can act appropriately and not fall victim to phishing emails, right? So my team, another part of my job is working to encourage students to pursue and build a career in cybersecurity, computer sciences, and information technology by giving that advice to academic institutions and doing presentations like this. We really believe that building a prosperous, safe, and secure Canada starts with educating our students and helping ensure they have the right skills so that as they work through their career, they can be successful. So what have we done to help you? Well, we've got a lot of new resources that are available on our website. So we've got a workforce development and curriculum guide. This guide provides a role-based perspective on careers in cybersecurity to help prepare students for technical and non-technical cybersecurity workforce roles. We also participate in program advisory committees, as well as with industry leaders to help provide advice and guidance during program development. We offer a curriculum review service that will help you identify gaps and recommend actions to address those gaps. Our board of CSE experts from a wide variety of backgrounds can provide valuable practical and technical guidance on your school's cybersecurity curriculums or curriculas. And we can ensure courses provide the foundation, technical and non-technical, for a successful career in cybersecurity. We've also published a cybersecurity career guide for students that provides the big picture of pursuing careers in cybersecurity and goes over how it affects everyday life, the types of careers, the types of roles, and lists Canadian post-secondary institutions that offer cybersecurity-based programs. It also lists certifications that employers value, as well as information about working at CSE. We also have a Cybersecurity for Educators course, and that course is aimed at non-IT teachers and includes the basics of cybersecurity, the career paths, and post-secondary options available to students. And we also go through some free resources that are available to teachers to work into their curricula. And at the end of the course, you will leave with all the materials you need, the slides, the participant manuals, so that you can teach the course to other teachers at your school, or so that you can use the course, parts of the course in your lessons. So we also work with industry on projects to help define the knowledge, skills, and abilities they would like graduates to have. And we also work with other government departments to ensure cybersecurity is recognized as an essential skill in Canada. Now, lastly, you can sign up for our email update, and when we post new guidance, new documents, new courses, or new events, we will send you an email. And if there's any students out there from the program that would like to work at CSE, we live cybersecurity every day. We offer a perspective and insight that isn't available to the same degree anywhere else in Canada, because we are a federal government organization. We work with businesses and academia, at provincial level governments, municipal governments, from coast to coast to coast. So we see things, right? And there's good wages and great benefits. So you can go to the website there. Now, lastly, for the teachers, professors, and curriculum developers out there, or deans, you guys can come to the Learning Hub and take any of our courses. We used to only offer them to Government of Canada, but since we've become the Cyber Center, our mandate has expanded to help critical infrastructures and academia as well. I've picked a couple courses here, or 3 courses that you may find useful. The 110 talks about your presence online, what you're exposing yourself to, and what people can figure out about you. It's a really, really interesting course. It's a half a day, as well as 111 is also a half a day, and it talks about securing your home network for telework. And the 3rd course that I've listed here is Cybersecurity for Educators, that one that I was just talking about there. And that is the end of my presentation. So we've got like 14 minutes for questions. If anybody would like to ask questions, I'll stop sharing my screen and we can do that. Hold on. All right. How do I stop sharing? There we go. All right. I've stopped sharing my screen. Do we have any questions? Yeah, hi.
Just Wendy.
Hmm?
So questions you can just unmute now.
For the more technical jobs at CSE, can you get them straight out of university, or do you have to have previous job experience before applying?
No, you can get them straight out of university, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're always looking for people, so put your resume in the general box. Any other questions?
You mentioned something called Hacker Gal.
Yeah, that's an event that we run. Pardon?
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, actually not that much. It's not an event that I run, but I can find you some information. It's just about coding and teaching girls how to code, and I think there's a little competition involved in it. I don't think we ran it this year because of COVID, so, but I can find you more information about that.
So it's probably for high school age girls?
No, I don't think it's just for high school age girls, no. But yeah.
Okay.
Maybe high school and post-secondary.
Sounds good. Other questions, comments, discussion? Ray's always so quiet on these.
I know, right? That's okay.
I can't wait till we can be back in a room together.
I know, it would be so much more fun. It really would.
Anybody?
Any questions? Yeah, okay, cool.
Last call, okay. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Angela, for coming to talk to us. I didn't ask you ahead of time, but I think I talked to you about this before, but I did record the session. Is it okay to share?
Yeah,
the
that's
recording?
okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks for taking the time to come.
All right.
And for those who attended, thanks for coming.
Okay, thank you very much. And
enjoy the beautiful weather.
Yeah, you too. Go out and enjoy the sunshine. Maybe I'll get a sunburn today.
That would be great.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Thank yous in the chat there.
I see them, yes. Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a good day.